So hello guys, it is 2:43 p.m. and you're listening to True Knowledge Bro.
So, next 15 minutes is going to be super interesting for you because you are going to know something that you didn't know before.
Hey listeners, I am Hek and along with me are
Gia.
Rhythm.
Dia.
and today we are going to record a podcast on architecture of past and present.
So guys, actually yesterday I was watching a reel about pyramids. And a fascinating fact about it was that the Great Pyramid was the tallest building in the world for almost 3,800 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it just made me wonder how it was possible to create such a massive structure many years before words such as engineering or architecture even existed.
Yes, Gia, I agree with you. As just yesterday I watched the news in which the three buildings of Visakhapatnam has collapsed and it's caused up many huge damages to the people of
And
over there.
I heard about the Morbi Bridge as well.
Yeah, even me.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah, so what I believe is this is maybe due to the poor construction and very fast constructions.
From both of your opinions, I believe that the modern and the ancient architecture both varies a lot. As the ancient architecture mostly focuses on sustainability, and the modern mostly focuses on design and looks.
True.
Yeah, as I talked about this collapse, if we talk about the pyramids, then they are made such a long time ago, and till now they are such a stable, and there is not at all harm occurred
Yes.
to them.
Yes,
I agree with you. And when we look at the older architecture, it also did focus on sustainability and strength, and it also thrived with the aesthetics. When we look at a olden architecture, we can also feel its vibes compared to the concrete jungles nowadays. When I went on a trip last year to temples,
Yeah.
it was very fascinating to look at the olden buildings and look at how they were made.
Yeah.
And do you feel the same way when you look at the cities, the buildings that are in the cities? No, right?
No.
Yes, man.
Actually
As
not.
you talk about the vibes, so when we all went to the temples, we feel such a good, and there is a very pleasant vibes, and this caused us very good. So I believe maybe it connects to the architecture.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. And in fact, you know what? I believe constructions of temples are totally different from the regular constructions of malls and buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And you may or may not be able to connect yourself with every temple, as all of them are made with different Vedic principles and Vastu Shastra.
That's actually right, Rhythm. You see, the zoning of a temple is actually done with a 8x8 grid, and it is also known as Vastu Purusha Mandal.
Mhm.
So the shikhar, that is the upper part on the temple, is usually above the Garbhagriha,
Yeah.
where the idol or the god is placed. So this all gives rise to the spirituality and positive vibes. And I mean, that does make a lot of sense. And all of this architecture was certainly made with a purpose.
Gia, you told something very interesting.
Yeah.
And for example, the sun temples. You know, there are two sun temples, Modera and in Modera and Konark. They both were made for prayers and sacrifices dedicated to Surya Dev. I mean the son of God.
Yeah.
God of sun. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And what I also think is for people of ancient India, the sun was the only factor responsible for bringing about each new day
Yeah,
and the
I
warming
al-
of the earth.
Yeah, I also heard that they believe the sun, all they believe what the sun is everything to them. Like
And
they believe rivers, they all used to preach the sun.
Yeah.
they were so pure, and I think that can be the only reason they made these temples.
Yeah, it may.
And in fact, the Sun Temple of Konark is even listed for 7 wonders of India.
Wow.
I mean, we can imagine how special and
Powerful.
powerful its aura.
True.
Amazing rhythm. I mean, if you're talking about purpose and usage, then not including Harappan civilization would be a crime. It stands out a lot because such an ancient city was so futuristic as it was divided into two parts, the citadel and the lower city. And the citadel also had a granary which was used to store grains that were used when the civilization faced droughts and famines. The city had an open drainage system which had holes for cleaning, sewer system that ran through their homes, and also allowed them bath facilities.
Wow, Mehak, that reminded me of 10th grade.
The great bath also had locker rooms for usage, and the materials were made from stones and bricks,
Wow.
which was also very preservative, and we can still see the civilization, not fully, but the ruins, which is also an amazing thing that because it's very, very old.
I mean, I think they used stones. That's why it is very strengthened.
Stones also terracotta. I mean, if you go and visit the Lothal, that is very near with our place. It's actually very beautiful, and I guess we should all visit there.
Yes, exactly. A city designed almost 4,000 years ago was much more well designed than the cities right now. And it makes me think that what would be the reason of this? Why are the olden cities much more detailed, much more artistic, and more stable than the newer ones?
Yeah.
Of course, the buildings today use materials that are very cheap. They don't look as good as they used to be. And in case of houses, they're mostly made of concrete, which are thin, placed bricks, and stick out. The concrete is so grey that whenever I look at it, I get so depressed.
And also, these days it's all about money.
Yeah.
Because people are really money minded and they just want to build up profits. And they are also giving almost no respect to the architects because no one is considering the architects, and most of the engineering is done by the engineers on computer. And I guess we should give architects the respect that they deserve.
And if you are talking about money, I think population can be the reason for getting them less money because work is same and there are many workers.
No, nowadays the work is more as buildings and the constructions has become larger and wide.
Yes, actually you are right. We should include malls as new malls.
Yeah.
And also the workers are not given the proper treatment and they are getting underpaid.
This is right.
Maybe. And I guess at this point we need to find what are the ways we can adapt to merge the older architecture with the modern architecture.
Don't get me wrong, but I guess things are changing and there's a shift towards a new normal. When we look at the streets of Amsterdam, it's so well designed. You could have bicycle paths, separate paths for walking, and separate paths for motorcycles and cars. They're also designed in a very well way, which also gives a extremely beautiful look. And it's so convenient to actually walk past those streets.
I actually agree with you, and I even feel that there are many examples of good modern architecture. One thing I noticed that the ancient architectures are mostly built on larger land. We can take Mohenjo-daro as example,
Of course.
and they were covering larger land for few people. And in the modern phase, we are trying to cover as less land as possible for a larger number of people by building flats and malls.
We can see the small example about the Dubai. In Dubai, there are such a tall buildings, and they used to give the many people the residence.
And how can we exclude Burj Khalifa?
Yeah, sure.
There, every structure is earthquake proof. I mean, what more we can ask for?
I heard the Burj Khalifa was made by using a flower as a design base. How creative.
Wow.
And it was made only in 5 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a very great thing.
There, every buildings are made in a very less time, and they are also providing quality as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
We can't deny such things.
yeah. And I guess another exception can be Japan, because you see, Japan was actually recovering from from an attack, the World War II damage, and it was really badly damaged, and they had to restructure everything from the buildings and stuff. So Japan and its architecture is actually a very good mix of futuristic, retro, and ancient architecture. I mean, they use materials such as wood and sliding doors, and it is actually very interesting.
Is wood sustainable?
Oh yes, you see, they have actually abundance of wood. They have a lot of wood over there, and the thing is, it keeps the house sturdy, and at the same time, wood also gives a bit of warmth. So they have also made the architecture in reference to the climate that they are living in, and I guess a lot of our houses are also like that. For example, if you see, Dia, what was the example you gave, the snow sliding one? Like the roofs
In Kerala.
in Kerala. In Kerala, also in Kashmir, so they have a lot of snowfall and rains.
Yeah, and if we talk about in the case of the ancient, then in the almost in all the palaces, we have noticed that when we even visited in the summer seasons, then we feel cooler. Even there is no air conditioner over there.
Yes.
Nowadays, all our houses have air conditioned and we still feel so hot.
Yeah. So we should think that how they have made such a things without having even engineers over there at that time.
And I guess their houses were really sustainable. Like they were built of straws and terracotta, and these all materials are really sustainable. And I believe one way to inculcate the past and present is to use these kind of products. Like you use some of the ancient products that can be placed in your recent times. And to conclude, I believe I would say that architecture in the past was all about love, heritage, people, and emotions.
Yeah.
And Mehak, you also said that times are shifting.
Yes.
And I guess there are architects who are building entirely self-sustainable cities with artistic abilities.
But it may not give the same vibe as the architecture, the past, since the functions are entirely different.
One thing is for sure, it will drastically improve the quality of our life.
Yeah.
And looking at the architecture in Korea, it is also modern but also very native to its place.
Yeah.
In Korea, the winters are very cold, so they have made flooring which provides warmth for winter. And that's not really a huge feat, but for the locals, it would be a great effort and convenience.
True. That's really nice. So, I guess at the end, we all hope for the best.
And I guess there is shift as possible as people are being more vocal and aware. So, hoping for the best.
Yeah. So, listeners, thank you very much for listening to our podcast.
And
Thank you.
stay tuned for more information and more amazing videos.
Yeah. So, once again, thank you very much. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
And please like, share, and subscribe to
And comment down below.
our channel True Knowledge.
Bro!